Tonight, as you settle into a quiet space and let the soft edges of the day fade away, we begin a gentle drift through the hidden wonders of our home planet. Earth may feel familiar beneath your feet, yet it is filled with quiet miracles, small, ancient, and endlessly soothing when we pause long enough to notice them. Let this moment be your slow breath, your soft landing, your invitation to unwind. The world outside can wait. The world within this story is calm, slow, and made for rest. Here on Earth, life has been unfolding for billions of years, shaped by tides, storms, sunlight, and time itself. And even now, in forests, oceans, deserts, and deep beneath the soil, there are peaceful truths waiting to be rediscovered. Think of this as a nighttime journey, not rushed, not sharp, but drifting like a feather, held by a gentle breeze. As you listen, imagine yourself wrapped in the soft glow of curiosity, where every fact becomes a lullaby, and every discovery is a lantern guiding you deeper into stillness. Earth is not only a planet, it is a storyteller. Every grain of sand, every gust of wind, every leaf pressed against the sky carries memories older than any language. When you slow down enough, you can almost hear them. The quiet pulse of seasons turning, the hush of unseen ecosystems working beneath your feet, the soft persistence of life always finding its way forward, even in the most unlikely corners. Tonight, we wander through these peaceful truths, some surprising, some ancient, all gentle enough to lull the mind, not to overwhelm, but to soothe, not to challenge, but to comfort. Each one reminds us that our world is vast and alive, yet soft enough to hold wonder in its smallest moments. So breathe in, slow and deep. Let your body grow heavier, your thoughts grow softer, and your eyelids settle like dusk over a quiet landscape. This is your space to drift, your space to listen, your space to let Earth's quiet magic guide you toward rest. And now, our first gentle fact awaits about a hidden rhythm in the natural world that continues night after night, whether we notice it or not. Far beneath the busy surface of daily life, the planet moves to rhythms most of us never feel, quiet patterns shaped by wind, water, and the slow turning of continents. One of the gentlest, yet most constant of these rhythms begins with something as simple as air that has been traveling, swirling, and transforming for longer than any human life. When you inhale, even now, you're breathing a mixture of gases shaped by forests, oceans, microbes, and ancient storms. It's a blend that whispers stories of volcanic eruptions, drifting plankton, and the soft, steady exhalations of leaves stretching toward the sun. You may not see it, but the atmosphere is alive with movement. Even on the stillest night, tiny eddies spiral above rooftops, currents glide across mountains, and invisible rivers of air sweep across oceans. Some molecules in each breath you take might have once drifted over coral reefs, brushed against the wings of migrating birds, or risen from the warm canopy of a rainforest at dusk. The air around you is not just empty space, it is an entire world in motion, delicate and interconnected. In this drifting system, Earth does something quietly elegant. It balances itself. Forests release moisture that becomes clouds. Oceans absorb heat and breathe it back out. Polar winds slide down from icy landscapes, while warm breezes rise from desert sands. All of these shifting temperatures and textures create patterns that spiral and dance, weaving the climate we live in. It's a slow pulse, steady and ancient, beating beneath weather and storm. Imagine floating above the world for a moment, far enough to see continents glowing softly beneath moonlight. Now, imagine watching the invisible flow around them, soft ribbons of vapor curling like long, luminous trails. Air rises, cools, condenses, falls as rain, and evaporates again. A cycle older than mountains, older than forests, older even than the first heartbeat of any creature that ever lived. A cycle that continues as gently as your own breathing. And here's the soothing truth. No matter how chaotic the world feels, these natural rhythms carry on quietly in the background, untouched by noise, untouched by hurry. They do not seek attention. They simply flow soft, constant, comforting. Tonight, as you settle deeper into rest, let this idea drift through your mind like a soft breeze. The air around you is ancient, patient, and endlessly renewing. It has circled the globe countless times, carrying the memory of oceans and forests and the faint warmth of distant sunsets. And now, in this quiet moment, it rests with you, sharing its long journey in the stillness of your breath. As we drift deeper into Earth's quiet wonders, let your thoughts settle like silt in calm water. The world may feel vast and unpredictable, but beneath the surface lies a gentle truth. Life has been shaping this planet with patience far beyond anything we can imagine. In the soft undercurrents of rivers, in the dim glow of deep forests, in the hidden chambers of the soil, small miracles unfold every moment without asking to be seen. Take a moment to imagine a forest floor cool, shaded, sprinkled with fallen leaves. To most of us, it looks peaceful, still, almost silent. But beneath that quiet blanket lies an entire world, humming with invisible activity. Tiny organisms are breaking down each leaf, turning it into nutrients that will nourish roots, fungi, and the seeds of new life. Slowly, steadily, silently, the forest recycles itself, turning decay into growth, endings into beginnings. Nothing is wasted. Everything finds its place in the soft circle of renewal. If you listen closely, not with your ears, but with your calmest inner awareness, you might sense the slow language of the soil. Earthworms loosen and aerate the ground. Microbes perform ancient chemical dances that help plants thrive. Roots weave gently through the dark, seeking water, forming connections, sharing resources. It is a universe down there, unseen, delicate, and essential. A world where time moves differently, measured not in hours or days, but in seasons, cycles, and the soft rhythm of growth. And above this underground symphony, trees stretch toward the sky, not hurriedly, but with a patient grace. Each ring inside the trunk is a quiet memory of a year lived, droughts endured, rains welcomed, sunlight stored. A tree holds centuries within its core, yet it never rushes. It simply grows at the pace nature intended, inch by inch, leaf by leaf, always reaching, yet always rooted. In this slow cooperation between soil and sky, there is a lesson written in every branch and every grain of earth beneath it. Life thrives in partnership. Nothing exists alone. Even the tallest tree depends on the smallest organisms for its strength, just as a single drop of rain depends on clouds that formed oceans away. As you breathe in the calmness of this moment, picture yourself standing in that serene forest, feeling the cool air, the distant rustle of leaves, the grounding stillness beneath your feet. Let that stillness settle inside you. Let it remind you that growth can be gentle, renewal can be quiet, and even the most extraordinary things begin in silence. As we continue drifting through Earth's quiet wonders, imagine yourself moving gently from the forest into a wide, open landscape. The sky expands above you, soft and endless, like a deep breath released by the world itself. Out here, the planet feels spacious, slow, almost timeless. Winds sweep across plains with a whispering ease, carrying grains of dust that have traveled farther than most journeys we will ever take. Even a single breath of wind is a traveler, shaped by mountains, warmed by sunlight, cooled by distant seas. In this open space, it becomes easier to sense how patient Earth truly is. Grasslands stretch far into the horizon, growing in rhythms older than cities or roads. Each blade bends and rises with the wind, moving together in waves like an ocean of green. Beneath them, roots sink deep into the soil, holding stories of drought, rain, fire, and rebirth. Grasslands burn, and then they return soft shoots rising from the ash, steady, calm, resilient. These landscapes are gentle on the surface, yet quietly strong beneath. If you relax your mind and listen to this wide world, you might hear something subtle, the sound of time itself, smoothing the edges of everything it touches. Rocks crumble into sand, mountains shift grain by grain, rivers carve their way forward with the persistence of 1,000 lifetimes. Nothing is rushed, yet everything continues. It's a reminder that change does not always need to be loud or sudden. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen slowly, quietly, like the turning of a season. In the distance, a river might appear, a silver line weaving through the land. Rivers flow with a grace that feels almost alive, curving and meandering as though guided by a gentle hand. They shape the earth not by force, but by patience. One drop at a time, they carve valleys, nourish fields, and carry the memory of mountains toward the waiting sea. Each river is a storyteller, holding traces of every place it has passed, blending them together in a seamless whisper of water. As you picture this river, imagine placing your hand in its cool surface. Feel the softness of its movement, the way it slips through your fingers without resistance. Water doesn't cling or struggle. It simply flows, adapting to whatever shape the world gives it. In that simple adaptability, there is a quiet wisdom, one that mirrors the way we, too, can soften into our own paths, letting go of things that no longer need to be held. And above it all, the sky stretches in peaceful silence, watching without hurry, shifting through colors as the sun moves gently across it. Clouds drift like slow dreams, forming shapes only to dissolve again. Even the sky, endless as it seems, is always in motion, always changing in the softest possible way. As you sink deeper into this calm landscape, allow yourself to drift with it, light, relaxed, unburdened. This is a place where nothing demands your attention, a place where the earth moves at a pace that invites rest, not effort, a place where you can simply breathe and be. As our gentle journey continues, imagine the daylight beginning to fade, replaced by the soft blue hush of early evening. This is the hour when the world grows quiet, when creatures settle, winds soften, and the earth seems to exhale. Twilight is not just a time of day, it is a transition, a kind of whispered pause between light and darkness. In this tender in-between space, the planet reveals some of its most calming secrets made not of action, but of presence. Across the land, countless tiny lives begin their nightly rituals. Fireflies rise from the grass like drifting sparks. Their glow is not bright or harsh, but warm and fleeting, like distant lanterns guiding the night. Each flicker carries a pattern, a message, a quiet conversation between small wings in the dark. In their soft light, the world feels slower, gentler, as though time itself has settled into a peaceful rhythm. Even the trees shift their behavior as night approaches. Some close their leaves slightly, conserving moisture and energy. Others release subtle scents that strengthen after sunset, gentle fragrances that drift invisibly through the air. Plants, though silent and rooted, respond to the turning of the day with deep awareness. They follow rhythms written into their cells long before humans built clocks or calendars. In the soft glow of evening, they breathe out the last of their sunlight and settle into night with the grace of ancient beings. In the distance, gentle waves may be touching a shoreline somewhere, never in a hurry, always returning, always leaving. The sea does not sleep, but it rests in its own way. Its tides move to the pull of the moon, rising and falling in a cycle, so steady that it holds the rhythm of whole ecosystems together. Imagine standing near the water as the sky darkens, listening to the soft hush of waves brushing the sand. Each one is a reminder that the world moves in patterns meant to soothe, not overwhelm. Far beneath those waves, countless tiny creatures rise toward the surface each night. It is known as the greatest migration on Earth, the upward movement of plankton, fish, and drifting life drawn by the safety of darkness. They ascend quietly like a shadowed tide of living stars, feeding near the surface before sinking back into the deep at dawn. Most humans never see this nightly miracle, yet it continues without fail, a silent heartbeat in the ocean's vastness. And above all of this, the sky slowly deepens, filling with distant light. Stars begin to appear one by one, ancient and constant. Some burned their last flames millions of years ago, yet their glow still travels across space to reach us. To look at the night sky is to look backward in time, to witness light older than mountains or oceans or even the earliest stirrings of life. It is a reminder that beauty does not need to be immediate to be real. Sometimes it travels across eternity just to softly touch the earth for a moment. As you drift deeper into this calming world, let your breath match the rhythm of the planet's slow, steady, unforced. Evening has a way of softening everything it touches, quieting busy thoughts, smoothing the edges of long days. In this gentle transition, you are invited to rest, just as the earth itself slows and settles beneath the growing night. As night deepens around our quiet world, imagine yourself drifting into a place where darkness is not empty, but full of subtle movements, hushed colors, and the soft shimmer of life that awakens only after sunset. The earth becomes a different planet at night, one shaped by cool air, moonlit landscapes, and creatures that move with patient grace. In the shadows, the world does not disappear. It transforms, becoming slower, softer, and quietly alive. Picture a desert under the moon. During the day, it blazes with heat and stillness, but at night the sand cools, the air settles, and the landscape feels almost like another realm. Tiny nocturnal animals begin their gentle wanderings, foxes stepping delicately across dunes, insects tracing faint patterns in the sand, and owls gliding silently above it, all with wings designed to leave no sound behind. Their movement is so quiet, so careful, that the desert seems to breathe with them, calm and unhurried. Elsewhere in the world, forests hum with a different kind of nighttime activity. Moths, with wings patterned like fallen leaves, drift through the air, guided by moonlight and scent. Bats flutter in intricate arcs, reading the world through vibrations and echoes. Beneath the canopy, small creatures shuffle through underbrush, mindful and slow, as though respecting the stillness around them. The forest at night is not frightening. It's a place wrapped in sound-softening darkness, where life moves like a whisper. Even plants behave differently in the cool hours. Some release subtle fragrances that grow stronger in the absence of sun. Others open their night-blooming flowers, offering pale petals to moths and nocturnal pollinators. These blossoms often reflect moonlight, glowing faintly like stars grounded on earth. In deserts, in jungles, in gardens, night-blooming plants wait patiently all day for this moment, responding to cycles older than human memory. Above all of this, the moon watches, steady and patient. Its glow is not sharp like the sun's. It's gentle, softened by the vast quiet of night. The moon influences tides, guides migrations, and shapes the behaviors of countless species. For much of human history, it was our only source of nightlight, and even now, it carries a calm familiarity. Its phases are slow, predictable, steady, a rhythm of waxing and waning that mirrors the cycles in our own lives. Beyond the moon, the sky deepens into something ancient and serene. Stars blink, faint but steady, each one a distant sun. Some form patterns we've named, though the constellations are only illusion stars that appear close together but are separated by unimaginable distances. Yet despite the space between them, they share the same quiet purpose: to shine into the dark with unwavering patience. Their light crosses the universe just to softly touch Earth's surface for a brief moment. As you immerse yourself in this nighttime world, let its slowness guide you into deeper rest. Night does not demand anything of you. It invites you to pause, to let go, to simply exist without expectation. Just as every creature adapts to the quiet hours, you too can soften, settling into a gentler version of yourself. As the night settles deeper across the earth, imagine yourself drifting over one of the planet's most peaceful and ancient realms, the open ocean. Out here, far from the noise of cities and the busy rhythm of human life, the world feels almost timeless. The waves rise and fall with a steady patience, as though the sea itself is breathing. Each swell moves with a calm, deliberate rhythm, shaped by winds that traveled thousands of miles before brushing the surface of the water. The ocean has been following these slow patterns since long before the first creatures ever walked onto land. If you float here long enough, just imagine it, you begin to notice small things. The distant glimmer of moonlight caught in the curve of a wave, the soft rumble of water shifting beneath you, the hush of currents flowing unseen below the surface. Though the ocean may seem vast and empty at night, it is filled with gentle activity, most of it hidden from human eyes. Tiny plankton drifting upward, schools of fish moving like a single shimmering body, slow pulses of jelly-like creatures glowing faintly in the dark. The deep ocean especially is a world shaped by calm persistence. Down beneath the reach of sunlight, life moves at a slower pace. Creatures conserve energy in the cold stillness, drifting, waiting, glowing softly in patches of faint blue and green bioluminescence. It's as though the deep sea makes its own stars, scattered through water instead of sky. These small bursts of light are signals, defenses, invitations, and sometimes just simple glimmers that appear and fade like thoughts passing through a dreaming mind. Near the surface, waves carry the memory of storms long past. They travel across entire oceans, gentle yet powerful, crossing from one continent to another without ever losing their quiet rhythm. You might not hear their full story, but each rise and fall is shaped by distant winds, shifting pressures, and the steady pull of the moon. To rest here is to rest inside a moving lullaby, a motion so natural and ancient that your body instinctively relaxes into it. Marine life follows patterns just as peaceful. Some species drift with currents their entire lives, never swimming against the direction the water chooses. Others rise only when the moon is bright, using its glow as a guide. Some creatures, like certain turtles, travel thousands of miles using magnetic fields and gentle temperature changes, always returning to the same quiet shoreline where their story began. Their journeys, though enormous, unfold with a patience and trust in the world that feels almost meditative. Above it all, the sky remains vast and unbroken. The horizon merges the sea and the night into a single soft line where darkness deepens into deeper dark. Out here, time itself feels different, not rushed, not measured, not divided, just flowing like water, continuous and calm. The ocean teaches that life doesn't always have to push or force. Sometimes it can drift, adapt, and find its own gentle direction. As you let this ocean world surround your thoughts, notice how your mind begins to slow in the same way. Waves move steadily, the night stays quiet, the earth keeps its rhythm, and you, floating softly inside this moment, are part of it too, supported, held, unhurried. As our quiet journey continues, imagine rising gently from the open ocean and drifting toward a coastline shaped by time itself. Shores are places of meeting where land and water touch, where waves surrender their long travels, and where the earth writes slow stories in sand and stone. Even the smallest grain under your feet has experienced more of the planet's history than any human ever will. It may have been part of a mountain once, pressed under unimaginable weight, shattered by frost, carried by rivers, polished by tides, and laid to rest here in the soft hush of the shore. The coastline is alive with gentle patterns. Tides move in and out, like the steady breath of the sea, guided by the pull of the moon. When the tide rises, it brings stories from distant waters. When it falls, it leaves behind delicate traces, shells, seaweed, driftwood, each shaped by long movements through water and time. None of these objects hurry. They arrive exactly when the ocean delivers them, carried by currents older than memory. Walk along this quiet shoreline in your mind. Feel the soft, cool sand shifting beneath each step. Listen to the waves, their slow rush and retreat repeating like a peaceful mantra. Even salt water has its own rhythm, evaporating into the sky, returning as rain, flowing through rivers, and finally reaching the sea again. Everything returns to its source eventually, but always with gentle patience. Nearby, cliffs rise in layered patterns, each stripe a chapter written over thousands of years. Wind carved them, rain shaped them, waves polished their edges, and still they stand, silent and steady. If you could read the layers, you'd find ancient oceans, old forests, forgotten climates, entire worlds that lived and faded long before ours. Yet the cliffs do not cling to their history. They simply hold it quietly, offering their story to anyone calm enough to notice. Above them, seabirds glide effortlessly through the air. Their wings catch coastal winds with a grace that makes flying look like resting. They circle, dive, call softly to one another, then settle on rocky ledges, warmed by the last traces of daylight. Even their movements seem shaped by the rhythm of the sea, smooth, unhurried, instinctive. Life here follows a pace guided not by clocks, but by tides and light and wind. When night approaches, the coastline changes again. The sky deepens to a soft navy blue. Waves grow darker, yet somehow calmer. The air cools, carrying the scent of salt and distant rain. Bioluminescent plankton may glow at the water's edge, lighting up each step as though the earth is gently responding to your presence. This faint blue shimmer is created by tiny organisms reacting to movement, turning the ocean into a quiet field of stars beneath your feet. As you breathe in this serene landscape, notice how your mind begins to settle, like sand finding its place after a wave. The shore teaches us something simple yet profound. Everything moves, but everything returns. Life shifts, but it always finds balance again. Even the softest wave shapes stone over time, not by force, but by persistence and calm repetition. You are drifting with that same steady rhythm now, carried gently by the natural pace of the world. Here, at the meeting place of land and sea, nothing is rushed, nothing is demanded. Everything simply flows as it is meant to. Now, imagine leaving the coastline behind and drifting inward toward landscapes shaped by Earth's most ancient sculptor, time. There is a quiet majesty in the planet's oldest places, regions where the world has been carved, lifted, eroded, and reshaped over millions upon millions of years. Even though mountains appear solid and permanent, they are part of a slow, ongoing story, one written stone by stone, layer by layer, over stretches of time, almost impossible for the human mind to grasp. Picture yourself standing before a range of mountains at dusk. Their silhouettes rise gently into the evening sky, each peak softened by distance, each ridge glowing with the last golden traces of the sun. From far away, they look still, but mountains are always moving, though their movements are too slow for us to see. Plates deep beneath the earth drift, collide, and separate, lifting rock toward the sky and pushing valleys into existence. Over millions of years, these movements create entire landscapes, quiet, patient monuments to the power of slow change. As darkness spreads, imagine walking along a mountain trail. The air cools, carrying hints of pine, stone, and wind. The ground beneath your feet feels steady, shaped by countless footsteps of creatures that walked here long before humans existed. In the distance, a stream tumbles over rocks. Its sound is steady, gentle, soothing. Streams, like time, smooth everything they touch. A pebble rolled through running water may spend centuries traveling only a few kilometers, rounded gradually, softened by encounters too subtle to notice in a single moment. High above, the stars emerge in crisp clarity. Mountain night skies are known for their stillness, their purity, their quiet brilliance. With thin air and little light pollution, you can see the Milky Way stretching overhead like a luminous river across the dark. Each point of light represents a distant sun, some larger than imagination, others already gone, their light only now reaching Earth. As you look up, the world feels both vast and comforting, as though wrapped in a soft blanket of ancient starlight. Lower down, the cool wind brushes past you, carrying stories from distant valleys. Winds in mountainous regions are shaped by elevation and temperature, falling gently down slopes like invisible waterfalls. They're the Earth's natural breath, moving through forests, brushing over lakes, flowing between cliffs in soft currents. Even air behaves differently here, more delicate, more open, more whisper-like. If you stand still enough, you can feel the world breathing around you. Even in the dark, life continues quietly. Small nocturnal animals step lightly through the underbrush. Owls rest on high branches, watching with steady, unblinking eyes. In alpine meadows, night-blooming flowers release subtle scents that drift with the breeze. All of this unfolds with a kind of quiet respect for the mountain's stillness, as though every creature understands that this place is old and sacred. Mountains remind us that stability does not mean stillness. They seem unchanging because their changes are slow, far slower than our own busy days. Yet they shift, grow, and crumble over time, shaped by forces that work gently but persistently. They teach us that strength can be soft, patience can be powerful, and the most enduring things in life often move at the slowest pace. As you breathe deeply in this mountain air, imagined or remembered, let your mind settle into the same steady rhythm. You are part of this ancient calm, part of this soft unfolding of time. As we drift onward in our quiet journey through Earth's gentle wonders, imagine descending from the mountains into a landscape shaped not by towering heights, but by soft expanses. The rolling calm of ancient grasslands, these wide open spaces stretching far beyond the horizon, hold a peaceful simplicity that has soothed life for millions of years. Here, the planet feels open, breathable, and unhurried, a place where the wind becomes a companion and the sky feels close enough to touch. Picture yourself stepping into a field at dusk. The tall grasses sway with a slow, rhythmic motion, moving as though guided by the world's own heartbeat. Each blade bends gracefully, never resisting the wind, always returning to its place once the breeze passes. The sound is delicate, a gentle rustling like quiet whispers traveling across the land. Grasslands may seem plain at first glance, but when you pause and truly notice them, they reveal their own kind of soft magic. Beneath the surface of these wide fields lies a hidden network of roots, stretching deep and strong. These roots anchor the soil, hold moisture, and support countless tiny lives dwelling below. Insects carve out small homes in the earth. Seeds wait patiently for just the right conditions to grow, and microorganisms work tirelessly, breaking down nutrients to feed the ecosystem. Everything here is connected by threads too thin to see and rhythms too slow to feel in the moment. Life above the grass moves with equal grace. Herds of grazing animals, whether deer, antelope, or smaller creatures, depending on the region, move in peaceful patterns, nibbling, pausing, listening to the wind. Birds glide overhead, wings wide, catching warm currents rising from the land. Their soft shadows pass over the field briefly, then vanish as though they never were. In the distance, the land dips gently, rolling in long curves shaped by ancient glaciers, rainfall, and the persistent breath of the wind. As the sun dips lower, the sky shifts into pastel hues, soft pinks, gentle golds, fading blues. Grasslands at sunset glow as though lit from within. The fibers of each blade catch the last light, turning fields into shimmering oceans of gold. This quiet beauty needs no dramatic peaks or crashing waves. It is the beauty of simplicity, of repetition, of rhythms that remain steady even as time moves on. When night finally settles in, the fields cool and the air grows crisp. Crickets begin their nighttime chorus, creating a soothing blanket of sound that fills the space between the stars and the soil. The world feels expansive yet comforting, open yet secure. With nothing blocking your view, the sky becomes a sweeping canvas of constellations. Stars shine brighter here, unfiltered by the lights of cities. Their glow seems more personal, as though each one is offering a quiet flicker meant just for you. In the distance, a faint breeze stirs the grasses again. Their movement is soft, almost like the earth sighing in its sleep. Grasslands remind us of the peace that comes from letting things be, of growing at a steady pace, bending without breaking, and trusting that every season brings what is needed in its own time. As you stand in this gentle expanse, imagine your own mind stretching outwards, spacious and unburdened, matching the calm openness of the land around you. Let the stillness settle inside you, grounding you, soothing you, reminding you that even the quietest environments are full of life, purpose, and quiet wonder. As our journey drifts onward, imagine rising gently from the wetlands and gliding toward one of Earth's most mesmerizing landscapes. the polar regions. These icy realms, stretching across the top and bottom of the planet, are places where silence has a deeper meaning, where sound is softened by snow, where the air feels crisp and pure, and where the world seems to pause in a kind of frozen serenity. Here, everything moves slowly, everything breathes more quietly, everything carries the soft touch of ancient cold. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast stretch of snow, illuminated by the gentle glow of a low-hanging sun that circles the horizon instead of rising and setting. The sky is washed with pale colors, soft golds, delicate pinks, faint blues that fade into white. In this place, light behaves differently. It lingers, it stretches, it paints the world in a luminous calm that feels almost otherworldly. Even shadows seem softer here, dissolving into the snow as though sleepily settling in for the long, calm hours. Far in the distance, slow-moving glaciers inch their way across the land. These ancient rivers of ice have been shaped over thousands of years. Snowfall compacted again and again until it formed massive, steady structures. They appear silent and unmoving, yet they flow steadily, sculpting valleys, carrying frozen memories of seasons long gone. Every crack, every soft shift within a glacier is part of a story as old as time itself, unfolding at a pace too gentle for humans to feel. In this frozen landscape, life persists with a quiet resilience. Arctic foxes tread softly across the snow, leaving delicate trails that curve between ridges of wind-shaped ice. Their fur, nearly luminescent in the pale light, blends so perfectly with the world around them that they appear as moving pieces of the landscape itself. Seals rest on floating sheets of ice, their dark eyes reflecting the stillness of the icy water. Penguins in the south huddle together for warmth, forming moving circles of life, each one a small heartbeat in the vast calm of the polar world. The ocean surrounding these icy lands is equally serene. Beneath the surface, cold waters move in slow, powerful currents that help regulate temperatures across the entire planet. These currents travel great distances, connecting distant oceans in a silent circulation that influences weather patterns, supports marine life, and sustains ecosystems far beyond the poles. Even the tiniest creatures in these waters, krill, plankton, and drifting life, follow patterns shaped by cycles of darkness and light, rising and sinking like a hidden tide guided by the cold. As night falls, the polar sky unveils one of Earth's most breathtaking spectacles, the auroras. Curtains of green, pink, and violet light ripple overhead, shimmering like cosmic waves across the dark sky. These lights form when particles from the sun interact with Earth's magnetic field, creating a natural dance of energy that glows softly against the night. Watching the aurora feels like witnessing a dream painted across the heavens, silent, fluid, endlessly soothing. The cold air here seems almost alive. Each breath feels crisp, refreshing, and strangely comforting. Snowflakes drift gently through the air, each one unique, each one formed from patterns too delicate to capture fully. The landscape absorbs sound, making footsteps quiet, voices soft, and the world around you peaceful in a way that little else can match. It's a place where the planet rests deeply, calmly, without interruption. As you stand in this frozen stillness, even just in your imagination, feel how the calm settles into you. The vastness doesn't overwhelm, it reassures. The quiet doesn't feel empty, it feels complete. The cold doesn't sting, it soothes like a gentle pause at the edge of the world. As our journey continues, imagine drifting away from the icy stillness of the polar world and gliding gently into the warm embrace of Earth's tropical rainforests. These lush, green sanctuaries are alive with quiet rhythms, gentle pulses of life that hum beneath layers of leaves, branches, and drifting mist. Though rainforests are vibrant and diverse, they hold a soothing quality when you look closely, a softness in their patterns, a hush in their movements, a lullaby woven from nature's oldest sounds. Picture yourself stepping beneath a canopy so dense that only scattered beams of sunlight reach the forest floor. Those thin spears of light fall like golden threads, illuminating tiny particles drifting in the air. Every leaf glistens with dew, every surface feels alive with moisture, and the air carries the fresh scent of earth and growing things. Rainforests breathe in a slow, steady rhythm, each tree releasing moisture into the air, creating clouds that drift above and return again as warm rain. It is a natural cycle of giving and receiving, endless and peaceful. As you explore this gentle world, listen closely. You might hear the soft drip of water falling from high branches, droplets descending slowly, hitting leaves with small, delicate taps. Somewhere in the distance, a river flows with calm determination, weaving through roots and stones that have shaped its path over centuries. The sound is low and steady, like the earth whispering to itself. Even when rain begins, it arrives not with chaos, but with a soothing patter, a layered symphony of droplets touching leaf after leaf, softening as they fall. Within this vast green tapestry, life moves at countless speeds, yet it all feels balanced. Butterflies drift lazily on warm currents of air, wings shimmering with colors too delicate to fully describe. Tiny frogs cling to broad leaves, their small bodies still except for the gentle rise and fall of breathing. Sloths move from branch to branch at a pace so slow it feels like they're living in a different layer of time, entirely a reminder that not everything in life needs to hurry. High above, birds glide between treetops, their feathers catching the sunlight in mesmerizing flashes. Some call softly to one another, others perch silently, watching the forest with calm awareness. Insects hum in distant waves, creating a soft background chorus that shifts as the day fades. Even the plants participate in this quiet interplay. Vines weave themselves around tree trunks, orchids bloom in shaded crevices, and giant leaves unfurl with a patience known only to nature. This entire environment thrives on cooperation. Trees connect through vast networks beneath the soil, sharing nutrients and sending subtle signals to one another. The rainforest is not a collection of separate lives. It is a single, interconnected body, each part supporting the others in ways too intricate to see at first glance. Somehow, even in its complexity, the rainforest maintains a soothing harmony, a feeling of balance that radiates through its humid air. As night begins to fall, the rainforest transforms. Light fades, shadows deepen, and the world becomes wrapped in warm darkness. Soft light from bioluminescent fungi may glow faintly along fallen logs. Fireflies drift between trunks, their tiny lanterns blinking gently in the dark. The air cools slightly, and the sounds soften into a nighttime melody, steady, rhythmic, comforting. It's a peaceful world, full of hidden wonders that reveal themselves slowly, patiently, like secrets meant only for quiet moments. Standing here, surrounded by this living, breathing landscape, you might feel your own breathing match its rhythm. Slow, deep, steady. Rainforests remind us that life doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. It doesn't need to be fast to be meaningful. Sometimes the greatest strength lies in softness, in patience, in simply existing with quiet intention. As our gentle journey reaches its final chapter, imagine yourself drifting upward, rising slowly through layers of soft, evening air until you are floating far above the earth. Not so far that the world becomes unrecognizable, but just far enough to feel like you're seeing it with fresh eyes. From here, the planet stretches out beneath you in a calm, glowing sweep of color and shadow. Cloud tops ripple like silver waves in the moonlight. City lights sparkle softly, scattered like distant embers. Forests, deserts, mountains, and oceans blend into a peaceful mosaic of blues, greens, and deep, quiet darkness. From this height, everything feels slower. The earth spins calmly, carrying its landscapes through cycles of day and night with a steady grace. You might notice how clouds drift across continents like wandering spirits, always changing shape, always traveling without haste. Storm systems swirl in delicate spirals, their massive forms moving with a gentle patience that belies their power. Even the flicker of lightning, seen from above, looks less like a roar and more like a soft pulse of energy stretching through the atmosphere. And yet, despite its vastness, the earth seems incredibly fragile. From here, thin layers of atmosphere hugging its surface, protecting every form of life with a barrier no thicker than a painted glaze on a ceramic bowl. All the air we breathe, all the weather we experience, all the winds that shape deserts and carry seeds, everything happens inside this delicate envelope. It's humbling, peaceful, and awe-inspiring all at once. Imagine slowly drifting over the curve of the ocean. From above, the water looks like a sheet of deep velvet, dotted with shimmering reflections from the moon and scattered starlight. Waves lose their sharp edges at this altitude, blurring into soft ripples that stretch for thousands of miles. Somewhere far below, whales rise to the surface to breathe, their massive forms moving gently through the water. Schools of fish shift like clouds of silver. Coral reefs pulse with silent life. But from up here, all you see is the calm unity of the sea, a single serene body holding countless worlds beneath its surface. As you glide farther, the lights of human towns and cities trace delicate patterns across the night side of the globe. They look almost like constellations, flickering clusters connected by thin lines of roads and coastlines. These lights, so bright from the ground, seem surprisingly soft from above. They do not disturb the calm. They simply glow, faint, and warm, like reminders that even in the quiet of night, life continues gently across the earth. Higher still, stars surround you. They shine with a purity untouched by atmosphere, more steady and serene than you have ever seen them from the ground. Each star is a distant sun, each beam of light a traveler from unimaginable distances. Between them stretches the vast darkness of space, not empty but peaceful in its own silent way. Here, suspended between the earth below and the stars above, you feel a sense of stillness that reaches deeper than words. The planet turns slowly, quietly beneath you. Continents glide through the shadow of night and into the glow of dawn. A thin line of soft gold appears along the edge of the earth, the first hint of sunlight preparing to rise. This moment, where darkness meets the first breath of day, is among the most peaceful sights imaginable. It's a reminder that the earth is always renewing itself, always moving through cycles of rest and awakening. As the sunrise spreads across the horizon, the world brightens gently. Seas shimmer, mountains glow, clouds blush with pale pink and gold. And in this soft return of light, you feel something familiar, a sense of calm, of comfort. of belonging. You realize that this entire journey, from ocean depths to polar skies, from forests to wetlands to sweeping plains, has all been part of a greater picture. A picture of a planet that is ancient, alive, and endlessly soothing. As you drift back down toward the comforting gravity of the earth, carry this stillness with you. Let it settle in your thoughts, your breath, your heartbeat soft, steady, peaceful. The world is vast and full of noise, but beneath it all, there is always a quiet rhythm waiting to be heard. And now, your journey is complete. A gentle return, a soft landing, a final exhale.